Good morning, everyone. It's Leslie Brock here. We're just checking the stream for a few more minutes while we share some slides with you. If you are watching on our webpage, you should be able to click on the video and choose the full screen option. If we run into any problems with the stream, please come back to donatelifenw.org/lifesavers and we'll post an alternate stream as soon as possible.
Good morning, Lifesavers. How you guys doing today? I'm Chef Mike Hargett, and I'm grateful to be here on this amazing morning at the best breakfast in the world, aka the Lifesavers Breakfast. That's right, I said it. Please join me while I share some amazing recipes for breakfast and even for dinner. I won't judge. You can make this recipe morning, lunch, or dinner. So sit back, relax, and I can't wait to see your friendly faces soon.
Hi, Donate Life Northwest family. It's Sally Showman. Good morning. I'm so excited to be here and celebrate the Lifesavers Breakfast with you.
Good morning, everyone. It's Leslie Brock here. I just wanted to let you know that we're really excited to get to Mike Hargett's cooking demonstration in just a few minutes. So stay tuned. All right, Lifesavers, let's get the pre-show cooking demonstration started. Many of you remember Mike Hargett's amazing story from past Lifesavers. He's the world's first person with hemophilia to receive a heart transplant, and then he received a kidney transplant from a living donor. Mike's one of the Donate Life community's greatest champions, and we are excited for him to share the skills he's learned as a professional chef who trained at Le Cordon Bleu College of Culinary Arts in Portland. Welcome, Mike.
Good morning, Lifesavers. Again, my name is Chef Mike Hargett, and today we're going to be doing one of my favorite recipes. I don't eat it very often, and I know the irony is especially funny that I'm cooking this breakfast for a bunch of medical professionals. It's the best thing in the world. Today, we're going to be making a delicious beer braised corned beef hash inspired by fall. So with root vegetables, topped with crispy parsnip chips. So what I've done in Food Network magic time is I've taken a whole 3-pound corned beef and I've added coriander, black pepper, and other pickling spice. You can just grab pickling spice off the shelf and add that to it. And then you add in 2 shallots, some onions, and then the best part, the beer. Any lager you like, don't do anything light. You want a dark full body. Or you can just use just water and stock with this as well. You don't have to use alcohol. But the beer acts as a tenderizer, so it actually helps break down the proteins in the corned beef. So you cover that about halfway up the corned beef, and then add water, and about half. When you're braising, you never want to cover the full protein or whatever you're braising fully, because then what happens? Joe from Oklahoma, that's right. You end up boiling the corned beef, and that's not good. Yes, it is a staple. You could do boiled corned beef and cabbage and potatoes, but that's not today. That's corned beef hash, and we're gonna make this as tender as possible, because then after you braise it for 3 hours at 325 degrees, you're gonna take it out, you immediately put it in the fridge. Cool it down, chill it off in the braising liquid. Don't throw that away, that's liquid gold. I know who you are, keep the liquid. So you're gonna add that into the fridge, chill overnight, then you're gonna cube it up. That's what this stuff looks like, AKA heaven. So after it comes out, I cube it, I toss it in a hot pan, about medium heat, with a tablespoon of oil, get it really hot and smoking. As soon as you start to see the smoke, then you put the corned beef hash in. Then you end up with these little nice little nuggets of friendship that are crispy and golden brown, AKA GBD. That was my nickname in high school. That was my rap name. DJ GBD. That's right. So, it comes out of the pan, then goes in a hot pan with onions. You're gonna start to caramelize them. Now, this is kind of a quick caramelize. You just wanna get some intense brown color on them. So this is gonna take about 4 to 7 minutes. So I'm gonna add in these delicious sliced sweet onions. You can use any type of onion you want, but these are sweet because they're my preferred. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna add in the onions. They're gonna start to sweat, get all happy, you know? I'm so grateful for you guys to be here today. This is an amazing event, and I was grateful and honored 2 years ago to be the keynote speaker. And it was such a humbling experience, but it was more so, very much so humbling and gratifying, because I got to talk about my donors, and that's, anytime I can talk about them is a win. So I got the onions. Oh yeah, you see that? I can even do it closing my eyes, huh? Yeah, that's right. Now, we're gonna take some of those onions from the braising liquid. These have been braised with the beer and everything. It's so delicious. Save them. Gonna put those in. Oh yeah, starting to get happy in here. Cheers. So we're gonna bring these together. So we got the onions going. So good. Smells so delicious. You get all those aromatic spices of the pickling spice, which has a bunch of different, it has clove, coriander, mustard seed, black pepper, salt, cumin, and lots of celery seed. So definitely check it out. You can make your own, but this is an easy way to add flavor. And you can take that same recipe for the pickling spice, add it to some vinegar and a little sugar, and you have a quick pickle. You can pickle cucumbers, squash, tomatoes, anything. I've tried pickling like cereal, like it doesn't turn out. I don't recommend doing that, but you can definitely, pickle a lot of great things. Now that we have the onions all hot, what we're gonna do is we're going to add in this delicious corned beef back to the pan. So everything that we did, we assembled separately. So I have the corned beef, I have these delicious Brussels sprouts that are quartered. Like I said, it's a fall-inspired hash, so make sure you get all your veggies. It's better because you're getting more veggies in your diet with guilty pleasures. Everything in moderation, including moderation, right, Dr. Gilo? I know you're sitting right over there. I know you'd approve of this recipe. So I have the delicious roasted Brussels sprouts, and then I have in delicious, even better, roasted delicata squash and potatoes. Any type of potatoes you want, any type of squash you want. You can use acorn, you can use butternut squash, you could use, there's so many other types of squash out there, give love to some squash, they didn't do anything wrong. Get those in the pan and make you happy. So now that we have that, we're gonna add back in that corned beef, delicious, AKA meat candy. Yeah, I said it, don't rip it off, hashtag meat candy. I need like one of those little prompts that come by, like a little dancing, like a dancing ball or like a dancing pig. That'd be great too. Every time it says meat candy, that'd be good. But on a serious note, you can definitely sub out other proteins for this. It really works well with tempeh. I've done it with tofu. You press it and then you sear it off really hard so it gets super crispy. Or even just a veggie burger that you can crumble and then crisp it up. So don't think that you can't partake in this recipe just because it has corned beef in it. I want everybody to be around the table no matter what protein or types of vegetables they like. So, corned beef in the pan. Oh man, so good. I told you guys, it's so delicious. So, once we have that in, we're gonna let that warm up. It's gonna take just about a couple minutes to come back up to temperature. Can you smell that? Look at that. Smell that. That right there. Yes, I dare say it. We just hit Flavor Town. Guy Fieri ain't got nothing on this guy right here. Yes, yes. So while the corned beef is reheating, look at these bad boys. Look at those delicious parsnip chips right here. These are oven-baked, crispy parsnip chips. Yes, you can make chips in the oven, healthier, not deep fried. Boom, mic drop, sodium drop. See, everybody's dropping. Now, all you have to do is you slice them super thin. You can do this with sweet potatoes. You can do this with rutabagas. All the other, hard vegetables and delicious, gourds and things out there. Show them some love too. Not everybody has to just go with the same potatoes or the same carrots. There's so many delicious vegetables out there. Go try one, research it, and incorporate it into your next meal. It's delicious. With these parsnip chips, all you're gonna do, you're gonna cut them super thin. Usually, most people play the guitar, I play the mandolin. A mandolin is a kitchen tool that professionals use. You can get one, online. They're very sharp. They're meant to be able to cut things very thinly and evenly. So I used a mandolin. That's how I got them really thin. I cut them so thin it only has one side. But if you don't have a mandolin, definitely use a knife and you can just cut them as thin as you can. Toss them in a little bit of olive oil, but not extra virgin. You don't want that because it has a low smoke point. You want something with a higher smoke point. So like grapeseed, canola, avocado, something along those lines. Toss them in, salt and pepper, roast them off, 425 for 10 maybe 12, 13 minutes, and check them again. And they'll be delicious and golden brown. So, now that the corned beef is getting warmed up, because you know what we have? I paid my subscription to Food Network Magic. So all this, it happens, this whole process, you know, it takes over 4 hours. We're doing it in less than 20 minutes. So, got the corned beef heating up. Thank you guys all for being here. Oh, hey, Ray, hey, thanks for being here. Hey, check it out. I'm making corned beef hash just for you. See, everybody's showing up. I love it. So now that the corned beef hash is coming along, you can't have the hash without the squash and the potatoes, so these are going in. Man, it's getting crazy in here. I can't even, such a windstorm going on in here. I'm just kidding, I can't keep this fantastic leprechaun hat on. So, gonna get the potatoes warmed up, the squash warmed up. While that's going, this is the perfect time. You know, this is a little segue that I am a hemophiliac. A hemophiliac is someone who bleeds and doesn't clot like they should. So I was born with hemophilia A severe, and I was able to get diagnosed at birth, and I lived all my life with hemophilia. It was definitely, a challenge, but I adapted and persevered and overcome. And I got sick my senior year in high school, and I contracted mono, and it attacked my heart. I lived with a sick heart for almost 10 years. I had to wait in the ICU for 82 days, and I received my amazing heart transplant only due to the fact that I had to lose weight in order to have said transplant, because they wouldn't, it'd be like swapping one big heart with another big heart, and that could be bad and it would just not work. So I lost 250 pounds, and I was listed, and I received my heart on May 9th, 2016. That was my second birthday. Then, due to the meds, I had an acute renal injury. It just means my kidney, took a bruising. Look at that, bruising. I'm a bleeder. Pun intended. And I was on dialysis for almost 9 months, and I received my kidney from a living donor, and she is, get this, my sister-in-law's step-sister-in-law. Yeah, flowchart that one. Her name is Alicia Smith, and she is my angel on earth. She loves talking about organ donation, and she would do it again in a heartbeat if she had another one to share. But it went to me so I could get off dialysis and get back to living. And I have been living ever since. I'm off dialysis. I've traveled. I've had aspirations that have came true because of organ donation. And I'm grateful to be a part of Donate Life, because they're such a great organization to bring light about organ donation, but they also bring people together, and that's what I love about them. It's truly a blessing to be part of. So, got this amazing hash getting warmed up. Look at that. You see that? That looks delicious. The squash is looking good. Look at that. It smells so good that my puppy, Tilly May, yeah, it's a plug for my pup. She has her own Instagram. Check it out, Tilly's Tales. Pretty funny. So now it's all getting together. Now we're gonna add in the Brussels sprouts. I know you guys, what you guys are saying. Brussels sprouts, come on, Mike, really? Yes. Brussels sprouts are so beautiful. They're like little baby cabbages. And yes, I was, I'm ashamed to admit this, if we could just pause the video, maybe get this off camera, not on what stays between you and I, is the fact that my mom overcooked a lot of veggies, especially lima beans and broccoli, and Brussels sprouts. God love you, Mom, but you know you did. And so when I learned from culinary school how to cook vegetables correctly, it definitely changed how my attitude and perception towards them was. You don't have to cook them to death. You know, you can par cook them and grill them, and you can roast them, you can crisp them up. And so that's what I'm doing, is I roasted them, and then I was able to add in some flavor with some lemon zest, and that added a whole new brightness to the dish. And so what you want to do is find vegetables that you like and use them in the dish. I want to be able to have everybody around the table and enjoying the meal and not picking out the veggies. So if you don't like Brussels sprouts, sub in broccoli. If you don't like broccoli, sub in carrots. You know, just get your kids more color. That's kind of the if I, be able to, run for Senate, it's more color on every plate. So we got the hash coming along, and now is the best part. It's fall, right? So we're gonna take some apple cider, delicious apple cider, and we're gonna deglaze. Deglaze just means getting all the bits or the fond, F-O-N-D, off the bottom of the pan. You can do that with water, you can do that with alcohol, you can do that with apple cider. So I'm just gonna put the apple cider in, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna add a nice little sweetness, but it's also gonna reduce down, and then it's gonna glaze all those vegetables. So it's like you added apples into the dish, keeping with that fall theme, but it's gonna be throughout the whole hash. When you're eating it, you're gonna get a potato, and then hey, is that apple? No, that's the apple cider. So it's gonna get a nice tanginess because I'm also going to add in apple cider vinegar. It's so rich, everything's so heavy. So you either need acid, lemons, limes, oranges, something like that, or vinegars. As a chef, I love to, cook with more acidity because acidity adds flavor without adding more salt. And that's, as a heart-healthy chef, I challenge myself to add more acidity to back off of the salt. You can add in chilies too. Chilies work, I like to say, if you're not sweating, you're not doing it right, when you're eating. So now that this is reducing, it's gonna be delicious because it's gonna glaze everything. So we're gonna take this, as you can see, do you see the colors? Look at that. So good. You don't even need me. Look at that. Hey, this is Chef Butternut. See, you caught it. That's a delicata, Mike. But check that out. So good. So we're almost done. We're gonna take that. The best part, of a hash is what? That egg. That easy, delicious egg. Because as soon as you break that yolk, it's like a best sauce ever, Why wouldn't you put an egg on top of it? You're yolking, right? Pun intended. I'm not yolking because I love eggs. And I gotta make sure, I can't do raw egg, but I can do pasteurized, not farm fresh, pasteurized eggs, and I cook them over medium, and they're delicious. They're a great way to add a depth and a richness to the hash. So, we're gonna add in a tablespoon of butter. Actually, let's go with just a teaspoon. And most people are afraid of cooking eggs, and that's a shame because eggs can be really delicious and a neat way and a great way to get protein. And so what you want to do is when you're cooking an over easy egg or an over medium, you want low heat, not high heat. You want a little bit of fat, whether it's oil, spray, or butter. And an over easy egg, you want to just cook it until the whites are set. But of course, I like mine over medium. And so I'm going to cook mine about 2 minutes on the first side and then about a minute on the other side. What that's going to do is it's going to add, the whites are going to be set. You can flip, and then the yolk gets a little set. All the whites are fully cooked, but the yolk is still runny. So you can definitely do this with a poached egg. You can do this with a hard-boiled egg too, or you can leave the egg off. You know, you don't have to be in the egg club, as I like to say. So, now we're gonna add in that apple cider vinegar you talked about. Oh yeah, it's getting there. Look at that. Tilly wants to say hi. She knows what good food tastes like. Fresh cracked pepper on the egg. Why? Because it's delicious. Oh, it smells so good in here. And that's, you know, it could be the prednisone, but I've had a lot of conversations with, with food. But that makes me who I am, It's when it comes out and this dish comes out, you're gonna understand why, all the puns are included. Because you know what? This dish is so Gouda. I know it. I know you just smirked. I know you did, Christina. Huh? I know you did. Look at that. So, that's the top of the egg right there. Liquid sunshine right there. We're gonna take that. Can you flip it? Guys, can you flip it? Can you do this? Can you do this? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Gonna add in the delicious chives right at the end. So we're gonna add a little bit of chives right there. Are you guys ready to eat? Because I'm ready to eat. So let's grab the plate. Get a nice big spoonful of hash. We're just gonna take this delicious egg. I'm gonna do some parsnip chips. Some chives over the top. And there's the breakfast, a delicious fall-inspired beer-braised corned beef hash with crispy parsnip chips and a delicious and sexy over medium egg. As you guys can tell, Tilly right down here, she's ready to get going. So, everybody, all the Lifesavers, let's get cleaned up. I gotta change out of this fantastic gear, get all dressed up, get my breakfast, get ready. The program is about to start, so make sure you have something good to drink, a nice, enjoyable space to listen and learn, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for joining in with me. It's been a blast. As always, peace, love, and taco grease.
Thank you so much, Mike. That looked so good. And I loved your tip to substitute the corned beef with other proteins if you want to keep it vegetarian, so everyone can partake in the heaven on a plate that is a hash. We'll keep that up on our website for anyone who missed it earlier. And now I'd like to start our main program by saying good morning to all of the Lifesavers joining us today. Thank you for tuning in. For those who don't know me, I'm Leslie Brock, Executive Director, and I'm so honored to be a part of the Donate Life Northwest family with you. Of course, quite a lot has changed recently, and this Lifesavers Breakfast looks a little different in challenging times. But we are very grateful for the opportunity to share this long-time tradition with more of you, near and far, all connecting to celebrate organ, eye, and tissue donation, and this community's work to educate, encourage, and inspire more donors. So, I want to start this inspiring program by thanking you. Whether it's your first Lifesavers Breakfast or your 20th, whether you are a donor family member carrying on a loved one's legacy, a living donor sharing the joy of giving, a transplant candidate waiting with hope, a grateful recipient paying it forward, a caring professional, or a friend, family member, colleague, or other supporter, you are a lifesaver. I also want to take a moment to thank our very generous sponsors who support the life-saving work of this community. A huge thank you to our presenting sponsor, Pacific Northwest Transplant Bank. They are the area's organ recovery organization, and we'll have an up-close look at their important work later on in the program. First, though, they asked us to share this message of thanks to all of the hospitals who partner in the organ donation process. Thank you, PNTV, and thank you, hospital partners. Next is our platinum sponsor, Legacy Health, who are fantastic hospital partners in both donation and transplant. Their teams include Legacy Transplant Services, Deaver's Eye Institute, and the Oregon Burn Center. Now I'm excited to introduce you to Kelly Laschkewitsch, Legacy's Manager of Transplant Services and our recently elected board chair. Good morning, Kelly, welcome.
Hi, Leslie, and good morning to all the lifesavers out there. Thank you for having me. At Legacy Health, we are proud of our professional role in living and deceased donation and in organ, eye, and tissue transplant. And we are grateful to be part of this Donate Life Northwest community with you. It is inspiring to work with this uniquely collaborative organization that brings together donor families, living donors, transplant candidates and recipients, and healthcare professionals. As a board member personally serving with amazing volunteers, I can tell you the powerful difference that we make when we come together to educate, encourage, and empower gifts of life, sight, and health. So I want to thank you for being part of this vital work and share this special message from Legacy Health to our Donate Life family.
Thank you, Donate Life! We appreciate you!
Thank you, Legacy. Next, a big thanks to our premier sponsors, Lions Vision Gift, and our prime sponsors, Community Tissue Services, Pacific West Bank, and Providence Health and Services. Thank you also to our participating sponsors, Bethany Vineyard and Winery, and the Oliphant Hoover Community Charity. This year, we also want to thank the Maybelle Clark McDonald Fund, who have offered up to $25,000 for a special Lifesavers Matching Challenge, matching your gifts to help preserve the vital programs of Donate Life Northwest you will hear about today. Donate Life Northwest has always been innovative, starting with our uniquely collaborative model that brings together individuals and professionals from all aspects of transplant and donation in ways that are not seen in other parts of the country. Together, we have built exceptional programs and expanded and adapted to meet new challenges and opportunities to educate, encourage, and empower more donors. When we lost the ability to connect in person, the Donate Life Northwest community made a pledge to distance without disconnecting. So many of you have helped adapt our programs to keep that pledge, to continue connecting broader communities to our lessons of generosity, gratitude, and hope. To tell us more about some of these programs, I'd like to welcome Aimeé Adelmann, our Director of Education and Outreach. Aimeé, good morning.
Thank you, Leslie, and a big thank you to our generous sponsors. Although we cannot be here together, I'm thankful that you all are still able to join us this morning. Especially during this moment of time, I'm honored to be part of such a strong and encouraging community that is Donate Life Northwest. My journey with Donate Life Northwest started long before I was working here. As many of you know, I am a 2-time kidney recipient. My first transplant came from a donation from my dad, which was a wonderful experience and an incredible gift. Thank you, Dad. But my second transplant had its challenges, to say the least. Going through my second transplant was an unexpected and very hard process. My second transplant was from a deceased donor. And after going through that process, it changed my outlook. I felt a new lease on life and the need to give back. So I started volunteering and speaking in schools on behalf of Donate Life Northwest. After that, I caught the bug and was connected to this wonderful community, and there was no turning back. Since I've been working here, there are some times it is difficult to do such personal work, but being part of this community continues to inspire and motivate me, as I know it does for many of you. I have had the opportunity to meet people from all walks of life that have been touched by donation and transplant in different ways. We all have a few things in common, but what we all know is that education plays such an important part in the work that we all do to help register more donors and make more transplants possible. Now I'd like to take a moment to highlight some of our accomplishments over the last year. Go Recycle Yourself is a program that provides education on organ, eye, and tissue donation in our schools. Just like many of the teachers out there, during the last school year, we had to act quickly and adapt our Go Recycle Yourself program to fit this virtual world. Now, Go Recycle Yourself and our school programs have even more resources for teachers to access online. With our Donate Life educator volunteers, we were able to reach nearly 17,000 students in the last school year. Our Erase the Wait program now has turned virtual as well. We have now completed 2 virtual cohorts. Since the start of Erase the Wait, 18 patients who have participated in the program received transplants. Our living donation programs continue to expand and help and empower more patients to advocate for living donation. Our dialysis education program has grown immensely and includes bilingual resources in both English and Spanish. This program has provided opportunity for both our Donate Life and our Donate Vida ambassadors. Donate Vida is our Latino volunteer and outreach program. Last year, we participated in many outreach events, reaching more than 5,500 people in the Latino community, which is more than we have ever done. These pictures are all taken pre-COVID. Our quilts bring our entire community together and honor those who have given the most incredible gift of life. Many of you have heard me say that our community and the work that we do is the true illustration of the cycle of life. The squares of our quilt bring together old and new fabric, coming together as one large piece of fabric. Our quilts are a visual representation of the life lost and the life renewed, thread together in one beautiful image. For 22 years, the Threads of Life quilt has brought us together and traveled across the United States. Like our quilts, our stories are what bring our community together and what help people understand the complex and meaningful process that is donation and transplantation. Many people in the public do not fully understand how the donation process works. So recently, we embarked on a journey to try to explain the entire donation process through a documentary. We are working with our partner organizations, donor families, recipients, donation and transplant professionals to really illustrate a more in-depth story. The Pacific Northwest Transplant Bank and one donor family in particular graciously allowed us an intimate glimpse into the profound loss they experience, while also going through the process of giving the ultimate gift of donation. We still have quite a ways to go in the development of this film, but we wanted to show you all a little sneak peek.
The spouse of the patient expressed that there's really never a time when he's going to feel ready to say goodbye. And there's something that's really permanent, and scary about the final goodbyes that they say to someone as they roll to the operating room to become an organ donor. So I have no idea where that came up, but I just felt like it was
what did she mean by that?
Well, I think initially when we were planning on the OR at 9 a.m.
This is a type of diagnostic test that can help us determine brain death. So these areas are parts of the patient's body where there is blood flow, and blood flow has been preserved. Inside the cranium here, where the brain is, there's this very light area, and which indicates that there's no blood flow. That indicates that the patient is brain dead.
When I first met with this family after the patient was admitted, and they learned that it was a devastating injury, and the first thing that came to their mind was, well, if they're not going to survive, then they said that they wanted to become an organ donor, and I want to honor that. And that's when we stepped in and became involved. But then there's this other part of the processing that happens as a family member, I think, that even though they've made that decision, there's accepting that, oh my God, this is goodbye. It's one thing to know somebody's wishes, and it's another thing to somehow find a way to prepare yourself for the last moments and the last goodbye. Knowing that this was a decision that the patient wanted, that the family wanted, and therefore in some ways you could say it was an easy decision. And then there's the challenging part where you realize the finality of it, and the reality of it.
What a powerful clip. Thank you so much to Erin, the donor family advocate, and PNTB, and especially the donor family, as well as the others who have participated in this documentary. We hope to be able to show you the final version soon. Donate Life Northwest, in collaboration with our partner programs, are fortunate enough to be part of a group that knows the donation process personally. The donor family group is made up of longtime advocates for donation and have supported so many donor families over the years. Started by strong and courageous women whose mission were to bring together donor families and advocate for the importance of donation. 3 outstanding women who have helped since the beginning are Balinda, Leslie, and Terry. In this clip, these women share their stories and the support that this group has given them, as well as new families to this community.
People get very uncomfortable if you talk about death and donation because it does mean someone died. They're really willing to talk about being a recipient, and it's wonderful when you hear all the great stories about someone receiving a heart transplant. That part you hear about, but you don't really get an opportunity to hear about what donor families experience. And so it's really important, I think, for people to be able to share that. My name is Leslie Cofield, and I am a donor mom, and I became involved with donation when my son Brian was killed in an accident on February 18th, 1993, and he became a cornea and heart valve donor.
The donor family group, we get together where we have a safe place where we can talk about our experience, bereavement, because sometimes if a person haven't been in our situation, it's hard to talk to people that do not know exactly the experience that we have. We've been pretty successful at touching and reaching other families that have lost their loved ones. My name is Balinda Beltran. I was born and raised in Portland, Oregon. My brother became Oregon's first heart transplant donor.
It's important that when you meet families who are just going through this, you really have that empathy, you have the understanding of what they're going through, that raw grief, and you can just let them talk and be themselves and express everything that they want to. I'm Terry Hagerly from Vancouver, Washington. And my daughter Aimeé was killed in a car accident in 2000, right after graduating from high school. She was able to donate her heart, her liver, her kidneys, her corneas, as well as tissue and some bone. Most of us, the loved one was not ill, it was a sudden death. So we're all dealing with sudden losses. And that's a huge thing for the human spirit to carry. But with this group, we're able to reach out and channel our own grief and just be a positive force for the others. It's a great way to just spread the love and let them know that they're not alone.
Balinda, Leslie, and Terry, we greatly appreciate all the work you have done over the years and the support that you have provided to so many families. Thanks to the generosity of 2 donors, both deceased and living, Mike Hargett is here today. As you heard from Mike earlier, he has received both a heart and a kidney transplant and wants to give back to the community that has made it possible for him to do what he loves, which is cook. One of the many ways Mike is giving back is by becoming a mentor for the Erase the Wait program. The Erase the Wait program gives waitlisted kidney patients tools and resources to empower themselves and advocate for a living donor. They are able to meet and learn from people who have been through living donation before by either receiving a transplant or becoming a living donor. Mike is currently mentoring a woman who is waiting for a kidney transplant, and her name is Jenny. Now we will get to hear from Jenny and Mike as they share about their experience with the Erase the Wait program.
My name is Mike Hargett, and I am Jenny's mentor in the Erase the Wait program.
Hi, my name is Jenny, and I am a patient. I have end-stage renal disease. I've been on hemodialysis since May, and I've been on the waiting list for a deceased donor since September of 2019.
Well, thank you very much, Jenny. It's an honor to be your mentor. I'm super grateful that I get to be able to give back, help somebody else, and get them back on track to living their best life and achieving their aspirations. So one thing that I wanted to ask you was, why did you want to join the Erase the Wait program?
Where I live, there's not a lot of people that have kidney disease, so I don't really know anybody that I can talk to about it. And I was hoping that I could meet somebody that knew what I was going through and could also help me figure out the best way of going about trying to get a kidney.
Totally. Do you think that you could have done this on your own?
Being in the program kind of encouraged me to really put myself out there and push more. Before the program, I was a little bit content to wait for a deceased donor and thinking, oh gosh, it's, my area, it's 3 to 5 years. Once I started dialysis, it's like, ew, I don't really like this. And I kind of want to get a kidney sooner.
Dialysis was not for you, but was there any other factors or anything?
Before the program, I didn't really tell a lot of people. My friends knew, but I didn't tell strangers. And so now I'm a little bit more likely to open up and tell a stranger that, hey, I'm on dialysis. And, if they ask for more information, then I can give it. But, I'm not going around saying, hey, give me a kidney, but just kind of trying to build a little awareness. And I think the Erase the Wait program kind of gave me that, I think courage is the right word for me to just kind of put myself out there a little bit more.
And what personally, if any, is the best thing that you've experienced through Erase the Wait so far?
One of the things that I really liked about the program was when they actually had other people join our calls. We had donors and we had recipients, and that really kind of gave me a lot of hope, especially when we met people who were altruistic donors that they didn't have a person they were donating to. They just decided to give their kidney. And I thought, wow, maybe somebody like that will give and I'll receive their kidney. Now I have a living donor. Yes.
It's fantastic.
Just kind of hoping that after she donates her kidney, there will be a match for me.
Of course. I'm crossing my fingers, toes. If I could twist into a pretzel, I would do that too for you. So it's fantastic. If you could pick one thing or a few things that you can focus on that gives you hope through this process, what would those be?
I think going back to what I said earlier, knowing that there are altruistic people out there that are willing to give their kidney, even if they don't know anybody who needs it, or knowing that there's other people in my situation where they might have somebody who wants to donate, but they don't match the person they want to donate to. And ultimately that person is going to be my match.
I'm super grateful and honored to be able to not only to be in this program, but to be your mentor, because not only going through this program with you, seeing your attitude, attitude is everything. And you have, a glass half full type of attitude, which is definitely me as well. And I think that's why we click so well. And I look forward to getting, the message when you do receive your fantastic, spare kidney that, you'll be able to get back to climbing mountains and conquering the world.
That's the dream.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for everything you've done, Mike.
Thank you. It's awesome.
Thank you, Mike and Jenny, for sharing your experience with the Erase the Weight program. Jenny, we are so excited that you and your donor will soon be entering into a paired exchange program. We look forward to getting more updates from you. Now I'd like to introduce you to two women who have been volunteering with Donate Life Northwest for some time. Marilyn is a young woman I met at the start of my career with Donate Life Northwest. She was a patient who was recently diagnosed with end-stage renal disease and was feeling very overwhelmed. Through our shared experience, I was able to help Marilyn navigate this complex process. Seeing what Marilyn was experiencing gave me a new insight into the gaps that exist in the transplant process, and ultimately is what inspired the Erase the Weight program. Nicole is an athlete and a living donor, and since her donation in 2007, she has become a volunteer and an enthusiastic advocate for donation and transplant. Marilyn and Nicole are now both amazing ambassadors for Donate Life Northwest. Take it away, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Amy. I'm very excited to be here with you guys all this morning. I am Nicole Andergaard. I'm a living kidney donor. I donated to my best friend, my oldest, dearest best friend, in 2007. Actually, it was 13 years ago today that we had our kidney transplant. I actually also attended my very first Lifesavers breakfast 13 years ago this week. I remember it was a few days before our transplant, and I'm pretty sure I cried through the whole session. It was that good. There were tears of joy. I really enjoyed it. But I didn't know what I was going into being a living donor. I saw all of the great programming at the Lifesavers breakfast, and I didn't really know, honestly, what to expect during my transplant journey in a few days. Back then in 2007, there wasn't a lot of information for living donors. So over all of these past 13 years, I've worked with Donate Life Northwest in a volunteer capacity, and I've always been pushing to do more awareness for living donation. And I'm really happy to say that in the past couple of years, Donate Life Northwest has come up with some really great programs aimed specifically at living donation awareness and education. One of the organizations I'm part of with Donate Life is WELD, and that stands for Women Encouraging Living Donation. We accept men too. So if you are a woman or man that has donated a kidney or liver, hit us up. We'd love to have you and expand our group. We do a lot of great programming and education in the community, and we have a lot of good things planned for 2021, and we'd love to have you be part of our group. The other program I'm part of through Donate Life is the Erase the Weight program. And this is a very exciting component that I've been working with. I'm here with Marilyn Tovar. She was my mentee in the program. I was actually very nervous to become part of it because I myself didn't receive an organ transplant. I was only on the living donor side. And I wasn't sure how I could mentor somebody through receiving a living donation if I hadn't been on that end of it. But my fine friends at Donate Life assured me it would go okay. And I was also told I'd be matched up with an amazing mentee. And I have to say, Marilyn is amazing. This woman, she's a tiny package, but I'm truly blessed to have been paired up with her in this Erase the Weight program. I hope she's a friend of mine for the rest of my life. I am so grateful to be just a tiny part of her transplant journey. And I'd like to introduce you to Marilyn right now. Marilyn, hello. Hello, my friend.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here. And so when I met Amy, she brought light into the tunnel of no's, and she empowered me with resources, not only for me, but for myself, for my family, giving me those resources in my own language, empower my family to make the correct decisions and how to help me process what I was about to experience. When I first met Amy, she took me by the hand, basically, and taught me that I had to learn how to advocate for myself and talk to the doctors. When we met, she took me and taught me that there were different parts of dialysis that I could continue to have a normal life through it. And then I became involved with Donate Life and Donate Vida, and I started realizing that that was my blessing in disguise because I learned that, now having the resources and having the knowledge also gave me the power to help others like me that didn't know where to turn, that didn't have the knowledge that I have, and not only felt lost and felt confused like I did, but I had the even more powerful thing. I had a second language that I can impart it in a language that they needed. So to me, that was kind of how my journey started with Donate Life and Donate Vida, and now Erase the Weight. That's when I met you.
Marilyn, when we first met, you had already been living for a number of years on dialysis. You were in kidney failure. You were just trying to become healthy on dialysis before you could even take the next step for kidney transplantation. You were on the list, but it was a long ways out for you when we first met. And we talked a lot in the beginning. We had a great conversation about exploring living donation as an option for you. And it was definitely a hard conversation for the two of us to have. And your sister, who was with us as well. It was a big conversation. And I know there were a lot of hurdles for you to even consider the idea of exploring living donation. For you and your family, what was the biggest obstacle of considering living donation and taking that step to move ahead in your kidney journey?
My biggest hurdle was the multiple no's I had received from many people and for many years. Being a dreamer made it a difficult decision for me to expose myself and expose the people that I love, because I knew that once I exposed myself to more people, it also meant more criticism and putting others at danger. Because to me, sharing my story also meant, at least in my mind, that I didn't know what was to come. But to my surprise, through the program which we met, I met amazing people that were not looking at the color of my skin, that were not looking at my status, that were not expecting me to fit a box, but were just there to help. They were willingly helping me without expecting anything in return. So to me, that was an amazing thing to find, because I met people like me that were struggling, that were in need of help, and that were willing to help me. So to me, that was just an empowering moment.
Marilyn, what tools and resources helped you from the Erase the Weight program?
He gave me a voice that I was so afraid to use because I wasn't sure how to use it. So through you, I learned, like I said, that there's people out there willingly to help without expecting anything in return. So Erase the Weight empowered me with knowledge, empowered me with how to use my voice to help others, to help myself, to put my best foot forward to ask for the help that I was needing. So Erase the Weight made a difference, not only for me, but for my family, because it created a tool for us to talk about what steps we needed to take in order to help others and to help myself continue looking for that kidney donor.
And Marilyn, I believe you just had a big anniversary as well recently. Is that right?
Yes, I actually hit my 1 year anniversary last month on the 27th, which was a big milestone for me.
Now, you're a unique individual because you worked with Donate Life before your transplant, but now post-transplant, you're a volunteer and you do a lot of work with the program Donate Vida for outreach to non-English speakers. And I'd love to hear a little bit about how you're bringing this unique perspective to your outreach with Donate Vida.
Sure. So I still call people in the dialysis unit that I was a part of. I consider them my family because I spend so much time in that unit with different individuals. So to me, even after transplant, it's important to empower those people the way I was empowered, because I believe the knowledge is the power. So I call them and I check in on them. They're still part of my life very much on a daily basis. You know, I check in and I ask how they're doing, how their process is going, and in any case, how they're feeling altogether and how their family is supporting them, because I was able to hear from many of them many times that they felt left behind because their families were not able to understand the process. So to me, that's the power I have to still give them the knowledge.
Well, Marilyn, that's all we have time for. And I wish we were in person so I could give you a great big hug because I miss you, my friend. But I am happy to see you. You look healthy. And I'm just really glad we had this time to talk.
Well, thank you, Nicole. I miss you too. I wish we were able to hug each other, like you said. I want to thank everyone for taking the time to listen to our stories and listen to this very important message that we have to say. You know, I want to thank Aimeé for setting this up and keep the empowerment going for those who need a voice, because it definitely makes a change and a difference. So thank you everyone for making a change.
Thank you so much, Nicole and Marilyn, for all of your amazing work. Marilyn received the gift of life from a deceased donor and now works to inform and inspire others to join the donor registry. That registry wouldn't exist without our partners at the DMV who ask that important question. To share our appreciation and help DMV staff realize the powerful impact of that question, we regularly connect with all 60 DMV field offices. With your help, we adapted that outreach and created a special training video for DMV staff. This morning, I'd like to share just some snippets of that to give you an idea.
My name is Justice, and 17 years ago when I was 4 months old, the doctor said I wasn't supposed to make it. Every milestone of my life, from walking to talking to getting my driver's license and my learner's permit, is a result of organ donation and could not have happened without that gift of life.
Registering to be a donor has a real impact. A single organ donor has the potential to save the lives of up to 8 different people by donating their heart, lungs, liver, intestine, pancreas, and kidneys. A single tissue donor has the potential to save or enhance the lives of 100 or more individuals through the donation of heart valves, bones, veins, corneas, tendons and ligaments, and skin. In the U.S., there are about 115,000 people waiting for a life-saving organ transplant. Nearly 8,000 people die each year because there aren't enough organs available, and every 10 minutes a new name is added to the national transplant list.
At the age of 22, I received the first cornea transplant. And after 1 year, I needed another surgery and I was able to see 100%. My first donor for the left eye was a 21-year-old girl. My second donor for the right eye was a 28-year-old boy. As soon as the doctor removed the patch, I was able to see this beautiful, beautiful, bright color that I can't remember ever seeing something like that, and it's amazing.
Thanks so much to those awesome volunteers, Justice and Teresa, for recording their parts last year and inspiring DMV staff. Now, I'd like to welcome Amy Joyce, the incoming DMV administrator. Amy?
Thank you. It's great to be with you this morning, and I can tell you the people of DMV love that video. We're grateful for that important connection with the Donate Life community, and it drives home the life-saving power of our role, asking that critical question, do you want to register to become a donor? I can also tell you that Donate Life Northwest publications make a tremendous difference for our customers. Our staff can't answer questions about donation, but we are able to provide your materials that have all the facts and powerful stories for those who are unsure about the decision to register. I know firsthand the life-saving, the life-changing impact of donation. My father-in-law received a kidney from a living donor from his own brother. After suffering kidney disease since childhood and years of the disease controlling every aspect of his life, the donated kidney immediately changed the quality of his life and extended his life for many years. It not only affected his life, but also that of his wife, his children, his grandchildren. Indeed, that single gift impacted the lives of dozens of loved ones. I'm so proud of our pioneering partnership with Donate Life Northwest in creating and growing one of the most robust registries in the country, 99% of which happens right at the DMV. I'm so proud of our DMV staff and their important role in registering 2.7 million Oregon donors. They care deeply about this important work. Thanks to everyone out there for all the ways you welcome and include the DMV as part of the amazing Donate Life Northwest community. We're honored to be saving lives with all of you.
Thanks, Aimeé, and a huge thanks to everyone at the DMV for asking that important question. As you can tell, individual stories are important in all of our programs. Connecting more people to your stories is the key to overcoming resistance and opening more hearts and minds to donation. Now, I'd like to share one of the videos you helped us produce last year for our new Stories of Hope collection.
That swivels, and I just hook into it, shift, and drive. My name is Mark Tatum. December 17, 2010, I had pain in my hand, in my arm, and in my leg, and I stumbled into the local hospital. I woke up 5 weeks later in ICU in Emmanuel Hospital in Portland and was told I had a flesh-eating bacteria. I lost my dominant hand, my left hand, and kind of ravaged the rest of my body. I realized I was going to live, but I was so non-functioning that I wasn't sure I wanted to get on with it. So at that point, I just had two choices. From the people that donated so I could be alive, to the family and friends to make me want to be alive, I got out of my dark place, and the hospital sent me on a wild adventure trip. It made me realize I still had the spirit, I still had the drive. I just had to figure out how to do it. Switch hooks, fancy go to dinner hook. So I got a new hook, wrapped it in cloth tacky tape. It's so tacky I can barely pull it apart. I got the same tacky stuff on the paddle. I got to be able to pull and have it stay on there. You know, it's not just kayaking. Kayaking leads to one thing and then another and then another. And pretty soon you're just going through life and you're getting up and going through whole days without even realizing you have a disability anymore. On a good day, you just cruise through the whole day just like everybody else and you don't even remember. Those are the really good days. Today I'll carry with me for a week. My big trips carry with me for months. If it wasn't for the grace and kindness of people that donated tissue and other organs, they wouldn't have had the spare parts and pieces to put me back together so I could live my best life. Simply sitting here on the water is complete bliss and freedom, because I never thought I'd get to do it again. The turn and smile. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you to all of the volunteers who share your inspiring stories of generosity, gratitude, and hope. Our annual Royce Award for Outstanding Volunteerism is named after two longtime volunteers, Ruth Pryor and Lois Martinazzi. This year's honoree, Balinda Olive Beltran, carries on the legacy of her brother, Bobby Olive, Oregon's first heart donor. Balinda is among our most active leadership volunteers, serving as a member of the board of directors and tirelessly educating and encouraging new donors for 35 years and counting. This award is just a small symbol of the extraordinary gratitude we have for your decades of life-saving work in our community. Balinda, it is my honor to give you this award today.
Thank you, Leslie. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Leslie. It is an honor and my pleasure to be part of this amazing community for 35 years. These are tough times for everyone, but this community and my work with Donate Life Northwest, sharing my brother's legacy of life-saving and connecting with all communities, brings me so much joy. I am so pleased to be here with everyone this morning, sharing a little bit about my family story. My brother Bobby Lewis Olive was a loving son, brother, and father, and his tragic death at the age of 27 was a terrible loss. Doctors at Emmanuel Hospital explained they had done all that they could do after he was shot. He was breathing, his heart was still beating, but he was no longer with us. He was brain dead. Then came the question of donating Bobby's heart to a stranger. In 1985, heart transplants was still like a fiction. It was a difficult question to ask. Will you donate Bobby's heart? Because someone is in desperate need of a heart. My mom was a Christian, a Seventh-day Adventist, and she said she would ask her Heavenly Father. The answer came quickly. If you can give, then give. My mother knew my brother would agree. At the same time, Wesley Merle's family was also praying because his time was running out at OHSU after a virus caused his heart to fail. Wesley was 44 years old, married to Virginia with two lovely children, Cindy and Phil. Bobby gave Wes that precious gift of life and became Oregon's first heart transplant donor, a gift that brought our two families together with a special bond. Though we were from different communities, it turned out both of our families were Seventh-day Adventists. This is an article about my family visiting Wes and Virginia's church. My mother is smiling. Her son, John Olive, is in the background, and Wes' wife, Virginia, is next to my mom. Virginia met the Olive family 13 days after losing Bobby. Wes was at home in weeks after the transplant. He shared his love of life with us for 5 more years. Virginia is still one of my dearest and closest friends. We call each other sister. Bobby also gave life, sight, and health to other recipients. And when we share the story of his gifts, he continues to save lives by inspiring others to say yes to donation. Virginia and I love to teach people how giving can bring joy and connection, even in difficult times. Every year, I host Bobby's birthday celebration during Black History Month. Bobby and President Lincoln share the same birthday, February the 12th. I will continue to share Bobby's story whenever I get a chance to inspire others. Our families will continue to educate and help break down myth versus truth about recycling, giving the gift of life. When all of us, donor families, living donors, recipients, friends, and families, support the work of Donate Life Northwest, we can reach so many more people with our lessons of giving. That is why I have been volunteering, fundraising, and giving to support Donate Life Northwest for 35 years. Today, as a board member, I can tell you that this organization needs our support more than ever before. After deep budget cuts, in these tough times, the survival of these programs depends on all of us being generous in our giving. That is why I and other leadership volunteers would like to help match your gift today. If you can continue, increase, or make your first contribution, we will double it. Together, we can preserve life-saving programs that will carry on for our loved ones' legacies, overcome barriers, and bring hope to thousands of children and adults who wait. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Balinda. You are amazing, and we are so grateful. Now we have a special message from another longtime member of our Donate Life family, an important part of any Lifesavers breakfast. Sally Showman is a meteorologist and Emmy Award-winning journalist for her special coverage of organ, eye, and tissue donation. Through her work at Coin 6 and as founder of Heartprint Productions, she's shared powerful stories to inform and inspire huge audiences, and she is a real lifesaver. Sally, it's so good to see you.
Hi, Leslie, and hi, everybody watching at home. It's Sally Showman at Coin 6. I am so glad to be part of the Donate Life Northwest community. You honor donors and you give hope to thousands of adults and kids who wait. Go Donate Life Northwest. Now I'm a little bit more comfortable in my home office. This is Luke, another proud supporter of Donate Life Northwest. You may remember last year he came to the Lifesavers breakfast at just 4 weeks old. And now, a year later, he's just learned how to walk. He's eating the foam finger. I'm gonna put him down for the rest of the video, but I just wanted you to see Luke and see how much he supports the cause. Okay, I'm back and Luke is napping. These days, I am working from home like most of you probably. I'm running my video production business called Heartprint Productions. And Heartprint Productions actually got its name due to the gift of life and the gift of organ donation. Let me explain. Back in 2009, I was a reporter in Spokane, and I told the story, a tragic story of a high school football player who died after taking a hit on the football field. His name's Drew Swank, and I still have his funeral card in my office and think about him all the time. Months after Drew's passing, I was really blessed to tell the story of the people who received Drew's organs. A young boy who was saved by Drew's liver, and a man who was a father who was saved by Drew's heart. The day after that story aired, a woman stopped me on the street and said, "Sally, that story left a heartprint on me." And that's where the name Heartprint Productions comes from, because we strive to leave heartprints on viewers with the stories and videos that we produce. So I can tell you, Donate Life has constantly left heartprints on me. The stories that you've shared with me, that you share within the community, are really incredible. And the goal is to reach as many people as possible. So the need has really never been greater to support this amazing cause. Leslie will have more information about how you can do that. But for now, great to see you. I hope we're all in person next year, and I really look forward to seeing you in the flesh very soon. Have a great morning.
Aw, thank you so much, Sally. And Luke, thank you for sharing that foam finger breakfast recipe. As Sally and Balinda said, these programs that share our lessons of generosity, gratitude, hope, and connection are needed now more than ever. And you are needed now more than ever. You have helped Donate Life Northwest adapt, both to distancing and deep budget cuts, finding efficient and effective ways to inspire more lifesavers. Now, if you are able, your help is vital to sustain these programs. And thanks to the Lifesavers Match Challenge from Mabel Clark McDonald Fund and leadership volunteers like Balinda, if you can renew, increase, or make your first Lifesavers gift or pledge, your contribution will go twice as far to give hope to thousands of area kids and adults who are waiting for their Lifesavers. Go to donatelifenw.org/lifesavers for links to all giving options. Please give as generously as you can to help turn today's challenges into new opportunities to inform and inspire more organ, eye, and tissue donors. With your generosity, you are fulfilling the Donate Life Northwest mission of saving lives and improving health through the promotion of organ, eye, and tissue donation.
And you are sustaining the vision and giving hope for a future where everyone gives and no one waits for a transplant. Thank you for being a lifesaver.